For this episode, we're going to talk about how dangerous is it to be a motorcyclist. And I'm going to give you guys my first person point of view, and as well, make sure you go down to the comments below and read the experience from my viewers because they have a lot of value to add for this channel. If you're new here, thanks for joining in to the KS Moto Cafe. Hopefully by the end of this, I can earn your subscription. In this channel, we cover motorcycle reviews, gear reviews, safety riding tips, as well as food reviews recently. Without further ado, let's get going. Alright, so how dangerous is it to be a motorcyclist? It's like one of the most common questions that I get asked by non-riders or people really concerned for my life and my health, which is really nice. And you know what? Motorcycling is dangerous. Yes, it's not a myth. It is more dangerous than driving because A, you have very little protection, B, you are only on 2 wheels compared to 4, and C, you are most likely the lightest thing on the road unless there's a bicyclist next to you. So compared to all the cars out there, no matter how big you are, no matter how big your bike is, as long as it's on 2 wheels, you're more likely going to be lighter than the smallest car that's around you. So if you play with Newton's law in physics, mass plays a big role when it comes to impact. Now you might be asking yourself, well, how bad could it be? Well, let me show you some of the clips that I have on motorcycle accidents. Ooh. So for me to mitigate the risk of having greater damage to my body is, one, wearing all the gear. There's an acronym called ATGAT, all the gear all the time. And if you're like me who value your life and your body, then yeah, you want to protect yourself because like I said, there's nothing else around you that's going to protect you when you hit the pavement or when you hit a car. So having a full face helmet, riding jacket with armor on it, gloves, pants, and riding boots, it plays a big role and it will save your skin. But if you choose to ignore all this and be a squid, which in riding terms is a rider who has no protection, you're just wearing shorts and t-shirt and flip-flops, barely a helmet, yeah, you're definitely squidding. And you know what? You may look and feel cool and maybe even feeling like a renegade, but when you fall down to that pavement, doesn't matter what you are gonna bleed. You're gonna really be in a lot of pain. So to avoid that, you wear all the gear all the time. And that's what I do. The second one is attitude. Having the right attitude when you are riding is so important. And this doesn't mean like your own riding philosophy all the time. I mean, that plays a big role as a theme. But what I'm talking about, every ride, you need to check yourself, whether you have the mental alertness to be situationally aware and that your reaction speed is not altered by either fatigue or other substances like alcohol. And your mood. I mean, everyone's human. You got your mood swings. Like, I'm gonna admit, I went on a ride before where I felt really angry. It actually happened when I crashed my drone for the first time. Oh no, fuck. Oh. Fuck. And yeah, I was really upset. I was riding recklessly. I was speeding, I was weaving through traffic, and I was just upset. And I got into a couple close calls during that ride, and once I realized that what I was doing was wrong, I pulled over to the side and did a little bit of self-reflection on what is more important, my life or my drone. And in the end, like, shit happened, right? Like, I lost my drone. Who cares? I still have my life. So you need to have the right attitude when you go for every ride. The last thing I want to part with is you need to understand the flow of traffic, and that includes the number one reason why you get into a motorcycle accident, which is other vehicles around you.
Thank you.
is no way you can predict what a driver in front of you or behind you or beside you are gonna do. And because of that, you are vulnerable. There is a good video online from Fort9 called Riding Like You're Invisible or something like that. And it's a great video to watch because it teaches you to ride defensively. And that doesn't mean defensively as in you go on the counter attack. I'm saying you need to ride your motorcycle like everyone's out there to kill you. Not intentionally, but accidentally. And it helps that if you have driving experience, because I started learning how to ride a motorcycle a year and a half ago. But before that, I had 20 years of driving experience. So I was already aware of certain bad drivers out there and what to look for and patterns on the road that gives me a little bit of indication of what to avoid. And once I got on 2 wheels, man, that situational awareness opened up probably threefold, because you are so aware of everything around you when you're on a motorcycle. So yeah, it is very important in terms of knowing what's happening in front of you, and as important, what's happening behind you, to make sure that the driver is aware that you are physically there, because sometimes for drivers, they ignore you because you are not a threat to them. Motorcycle is not a threat to a car. Now, you might ask, what about the weather? Shouldn't that affect the dangerousness of riding a motorcycle? Yeah, it does. I mean, the weather plays an effect on even cars, but I'm not putting that on the list because it's all up to the rider whether he or she wants to ride that day in that condition or not. So for those who have a lot of experience on riding a motorcycle, be a kind viewer and go down to the comments below and give me your opinion on whether or not motorcycling is dangerous and how you mitigate those risk levels so you can ride a little bit longer. So hopefully by now, if you're still watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, click that like and subscribe button if you can, and I will greatly appreciate it. Ride safe, ride prepared, ride on. Peace.